So today I want us to go through the nervous system. So I just want to introduce to you the nervous system. So this is an introduction video. Other videos will come as we go on. So today I want us to revise the nervous system. So the nervous system, this is one of the most important systems that you have as a human being. So the nervous system is one of the most important systems that you have as a human being. So remember, we have systems like the cardiovascular system, the urinary system, all those. But why have I said this is one of the important systems of the body? One is that the nervous system controls or is involved in the normal functioning of these other systems as well. For example, the cardiovascular system, the urinary system, it plays a role. Endocrine system, the nervous system plays a role. So, how best can we describe the nervous system? So, the nervous system, this is the system of the body that is involved in communication, or this is a system that facilitates communication between different organs of the body as well as the environment. So the nervous system helps regulate different functions of organs in the body, as well as it also helps us communicate with the outside world. So how? The question would be how. So before we go to how that comes about, I first want us to talk about the divisions of the nervous system. The divisions of the nervous system. So, the nervous system, we can first divide it into two. So, the nervous system, we can first divide it into two subdivisions. So, we are going to have what we call the central nervous system here. Central nervous system. Then two here, we are going to have what we call peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. So, the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain and the spinal cord constitute the central nervous system. Then the peripheral nervous system is made of cranial nerves as well as what? Spinal nerves. So all those branches coming off the spinal cord going to the peripherals, they constitute what? The peripheral nervous system. Hope you have heard. So all those branches of nerves branching from the spinal cord is found where? In the peripheral nervous system. So the peripheral nervous system can be further divided into two again. It has two subdivisions. So we have what we call somatic nervous system, somatic peripheral nervous system, as well as what? Autonomic peripheral nervous system. So before we divide this, or before we tackle these two, I would want you to know that the cells of the nervous system are called neurons. So what do we call the cells of the nervous system? We call them neurons. They are called neurons. So the cells, just like any other system, just like the way we find the Kupffer cells in the liver, we also have, just like we find the hepatocytes in the liver, Kupffer cells in the lungs, we also have neurons, which are the specialized cells of the nervous system. So let's now go to somatic nervous system. So somatic nervous system, this is the part of the peripheral nervous system that is under voluntary control. That is under voluntary control. So remember, I said a lot of activities that occur, it's all because of the nervous system. So all those actions that you are able to control that are regulated by the nervous system, they fall under what? Somatic nervous system. So what is controlled by the somatic nervous system? So you have skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is controlled by the somatic nervous system. So let's give an example. You decide when to walk, you decide when to stand, you decide when to jump. All that is due to contraction and relaxation of the skeletal muscles, how you coordinate the movement. So that's under skeletal muscle. So that's somatic nervous system. It's under voluntary control. You would decide to say, okay, let me do this with my hand. Let me stretch my hand. Let me bend it. You have control over it. That's a somatic nervous system. So in somatic nervous system, we have skeletal muscle. So remember all these in the nervous system, it's electrical impulses. It's in form of electrical impulses. So for the muscles to contract, it means there's an electrical impulse that has gone there and it has excited it to say, okay, contract, relax now. So as we go on, we'll be able to understand these terms. Let's go to the other division. Remember, this is just an introductory video. Let's go to the other division, which is the autonomic nervous system. So this is under involuntary control. So anything that you can't control, that is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, peripheral nervous system. So this autonomic peripheral nervous system is further divided into two. So we have what we call sympathetic and what we call parasympathetic. Parasympathetic autonomic nervous system. These two. So sympathetic. So remember, we are talking about things that you can't control. So in the sympathetic, this is involved with fright or fight. Then the parasympathetic autonomic peripheral nervous system is involved with rest and digestion. So what activities now? So remember, fright and fight, this is the system or the nervous system that is involved or that comes into play when you are in a situation that is stressful or which has caused fear in you. So that's the sympathetic nervous system that is going to play a role. So what are some of the things that is regulated by the sympathetic nervous system. So remember, this is under involuntary control. You don't have a control over it. So number one that we are going to say the activities under the sympathetic nervous system is what? Dilatation of pupils. Dilatation of pupils. So you don't have any control over the dilatation of pupils. So when you are in a situation that seems dangerous, the body interprets it to say this situation here is dangerous. You need to learn, fight, or fight for survival. So you're in survival mode. The pupils are going to dilate. Why? So that you can increase on your vision, so that you can see clearly. You get it? Yes. So that's pupil dilatation. Some of the other activities that under the sympathetic nervous system, we have what? Bronchodilation. So the bronchial is going to dilate so that the airway passages are well dilated. They are well patterned so that you can have enough. Remember, when you're afraid, even the breathing changes. So you need enough air. You need enough energy. You need enough air to learn or to fight. So the other thing that you don't regulate is the heart rate. So the heart rate, when you are in a situation where you need to survive, this is in survival mode, the heart rate is going to increase. Heart rate is going to do what? To increase. So imagine if you had control over the heart. You control it. Okay, now pump. Now don't pump. Now pump. That's a lot of work. So the nervous system does that for you. You don't have to control that. It regulates the heart rate according to situations. So these are just a few of the things that happen in the sympathetic nervous system. The other thing is, when you are in a situation that is, you are in the fight or fight, the other thing that is going to be inhibited or reduced is digestion. So digestion is going to be reduced. You don't need to be breaking a lot of things here. You need energy. You can direct that energy to something else. We need the skeletal muscles to have a lot of energy. You need to learn. So that's the sympathetic. Then the parasympathetic is just the opposite of what we've put in the sympathetic. So this is less than digestion. You are calm. This environment is good. I want to sleep now. I want to rest. I have forgotten about all the worries that I have. So that's where the parasympathetic nervous system is going to come in. So remember, we've just said it's the opposite. This is less than digestion. So what is going to happen to the pupils? They are going to constrict. The pupils are going to constrict. So it is involved. It's the parasympathetic nervous system that causes your pupils to constrict. Dilatation of the bronchioles. No, come on, I don't need a lot of air. I'm not even doing something that is strenuous. So there will be constriction of the bronchioles. The heart rate is going to be reduced. So remember, the reason why the heart rate increased here is because we wanted the cardiac output to be increased. Remember, the cardiac output is stroke volume is heart rate times stroke volume. So for you to have a good an increased cardiac output, you need to increase either the heart rate or the stroke volume. The stroke volume, this is just the amount of blood that is ejected from the ventricles or from the heart with each contraction. So that's it. So digestion here is going to be increased. Let's digest, guys. Let's digest. The heart rate is going to be reduced. All that stuff. The issue of sweating here, sweat glands are going to be stimulated. You're going to be sweating a lot. So when you are in a situation where you are afraid, a lot of people tend to sweat a lot. Here it will be the opposite. There will be no sweating. No, this person is calm. Why sweat? So this is what I wanted us to talk about the nervous system. So remember the nervous system, everything here is in form of electrical impulses. Everything, the messages, all these things are done in form of electrical impulses by specialized cells. This is made possible by the specialized cells, which are the functional units of the nervous system, which we call the neurons. The neurons, which are the nerve cells, the neurons. So this is the introduction. Remember, we have what? The central nervous system, made of the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system made of the somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Somatic, you have voluntary control over it, which is the skeletal muscle. Autonomic peripheral nervous system, you don't have control over it. We have the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic, fight or fight. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. Then we have all those things. So the next thing, this is an introduction. The next thing we are going to discuss about neurons. So we have types of neurons. So we are going to understand the nervous system bit by bit. It's a very long topic, so we'll be doing it in parts. So the next thing is neurons. So what is a neuron? Do we have types? How do they work? So we are going to find out in the next video.